Thank you for joining a read-aloud story. Once Upon a Mermaid's Tale, written by Beatrice Blue, is highlighted in May of the 2025 PRC-Saltillo Calendar. This story is read using the TAAP strategy to encourage conversation and interaction with the AAC learner. The words we encourage you to model this month are cool, this, will, why, no, and wait. Other words you could model throughout the story are read, read more, turn page, turn the page, and the end. You will see these reminders throughout the video. You can use Word Finder on your AAC system to find these words in your vocabulary. Let's take a closer look at how to model these words and tap your way through the story. The first step to tap your way through is to pick an activity. We've already done that. We're reading the book Once Upon a Mermaid's Tale. Next, you decide how often you will stop and tap. For this story, we suggest tapping after every page of the book. So, how do you tap? First, you talk about it. We suggest modeling the words cool and this. You can say, "That's cool." "This is so cool." "It looks so cool," or whatever else grabs the AAC learner's attention. Next, you ask a question and wait for a response. We suggest modeling the words will and why. Some things you could say are, "Why did he do that?" "Will she be okay?" "Will he?" Then you acknowledge their response. This month we suggest modeling the message no. You could say, "I know." "I know it will." "Who knows?" Or whatever else feels natural. Finally, you propel the activity forward or predict. We suggest you model the word wait. You could say, "Wait! I can't wait." "Don't wait." Enjoy simply listening to the story, or tap your way through the story demonstrating words and locations for the AAC learner on their technology. Find other words that are interesting to the AAC learner and use these words in other activities. Join us to discover if Theodore will do the right thing and save this unique creature. Once Upon a Mermaid's Tale by Beatrice Blue. Once Upon a Mermaid's Tale. Once upon a magic lagoon, there lived a boy named Theodore. Theodore had a little boat and a big passion. Collecting fish. He had golden fish, spotty fish, colorful fish, and some big fish too. Theodore loved to see the way their scales shimmered in the sunlight like jewels. Every week, Theodore would take his little boat and go searching for new fish to take home with him. One day, sailing through the waters, he found something truly special. It was the most beautiful creature he had ever seen. But as he was picking it up, a loud, booming voice said, "Leave her, Theodore. She belongs to the ocean." Theodore didn't know who had spoken, but he did know that he couldn't bear to leave the creature behind. He had to have her for his collection. On the way home, Theodore heard the voice again. "Put her back, Theodore. She belongs to the ocean." But again, he ignored it. Why should he put her back? He knew that he would take very good care of her. "I will call you Oceane," he said as he dropped the creature into her new tank where he could see her always. Every morning and every night, Theodore checked on Oceane. But as the days went by, something terrible happened. Oceane got weaker and weaker and paler until one day she stopped moving entirely. Theodore didn't understand. "What's happened to her?" he cried. Then the booming voice answered, "I am the voice of the ocean. That is where the creature belongs. We told you, but you did not listen, and now her shell is broken." Theodore felt his heart shrink. Oceane was hurt, and it was all his fault. He had to take her back to the lagoon where he found her. The water was very angry. But gathering all his courage, Theodore took the deepest breath he could, then jumped in. Underwater, all the other fish were gone. The plants were lifeless. Everything was silent and still, especially Oceane. Theodore held his breath and waited, and waited, and waited. But Oceane didn't wake up. Theodore gulped. Maybe it was too late. Maybe she couldn't survive without her shell. "I'm sorry, Oceane," he whispered. Then, suddenly, from behind the rocks, a golden fish approached Oceane and gave her one of his precious scales. And after him, another spotty fish did the same thing. Every colorful creature came out of their hiding spot to give Oceane a scale, and the biggest fish gathered huge shells to lay around her until... With a swirl full of magic and spirals of wonder, Oceane woke up. She was still the most beautiful creature Theodore had ever seen, though now she didn't have a shell. Instead, she had a wonderful tail. Theodore saw how happy Oceane was to be back in the ocean, and he knew what he had to do. From that day on, all mermaids have tails to remind us of something very important, that we must always take care of all animals and creatures, letting them live safely with their families. In the wild where they belong. The end.